Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always. Thanks ever so much for all your ongoing support. Likes, subscribes, shares, comments, discussions, hints, tips and tricks, all massively appreciated. Right, totally different format today. So, Foz was washed a couple of days ago, depending on when I upload this video. Fabia was washed a couple of days ago, for the sake of discussion, yesterday. Anyway, so everything's done, everything's clean. I've done hoovering this morning, so that is out the way. You don't need to watch hoovering. And it was literally driver's footwell, a little spruce up just to pick up any little bits of lint, etc, etc. And everything else is good. Cars are still defrosting, as you can see. They've been running for an hour. It was -1 this morning, but we're getting there. Anyway, so what we're going to do today, something I never ever do, a little bit of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So we can do glass, plastics, door shuts, boot shut, bonnet shut, maybe, tyres, wheel front protect. So I'm just going to go through a myriad of products until I'm exhausted, and then we will stop. I'll make a nice long video for you all, and that is that. So, first thing I thought I'd go through is, you will have heard me mention many times about using either Chemical Guys Swift Wipe waterless car wash or the Maguire's waterless, whichever one is closest. I like them both. This one has, oh no, I can't open it. I remember I tried before. It smells really nice. So hydrophobic technology, synthetic gloss enhancers. It's just good. It's got a good smell and it performs well. And I regularly use this at the beginning of a process. Well, what a nightmare. I've never done that before. I just cleaned that whole other side, checked the camera, and I hadn't been recording. So I won't pretend that I'm going to do it exactly the same again. Prime the pad, prime the panel, and give it a wipe. And that's how much dirt we're seeing. A little mark there, nothing else. Obviously we'll get more as we get to the top of the skirt, but again, not terrible. So of course I will flip. And if there's any residual marks on the towel, it's because I've just been doing the other side. But like an idiot, when I manoeuvred the camera, I must have accidentally stopped recording. Here we are. And the reason I like doing this is because when you start pressure washing the vehicle, and then subsequently you've got all the water flooding out of here, etc, etc, if you keep well on top of the shuts, just putting this in cinema mode, if you keep well on top of the shuts, when you're finished, last action with your drying towel, you can happily just dry out the shuts. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I'm not going mad. Let's see if we can make enough space to get into the back as well. Right, I'm just gonna get that in there. Get a little bit on here. Being waterless, a little bit of overspray doesn't matter. Hopefully I haven't mentioned this before. As I say, this is the problem with having an impromptu camera off. So let's get a good wipe through there. This stuff smells lovely. When I was reading the instructions, I was surprised that it's synthetic gloss enhancers. I was expecting carnauba, because it smells carnaubery. Right, I've got one last little clean bit here. We'll just get in where I may have wet. Oop, it's my paws. Apologies if I'm in the way. Give that a little buff with a dry bit. Top of the door shut as well. There's a few marks from previous ownership, people getting out and stuff, but I will tell you with confidence that it wasn't me. Let's just pull back. So that gives you a nice, clean, blank canvas for working with. So as I say, once you pressure washed and you've got water pouring out of the shuts, typically, then you can just, at the last knock-ins, just before you finish up and put your drying towel in the wash, you can just happily go over these, knowing that you're not going to pick up any further detritus, dirt, dust, anything scratchy, anything that might mar any additional paintwork. But as I say, I've kept well on top of these, so they're pretty good. And I can just get into here now both of these doors are open, and that is that. And I will do the same with the boot. So irrespective of the current status of the boot, clearly I regularly just flop stuff in here when I've finished a day of shooting. Prime the pad, moisten the area that you want to clean. As you'd expect for a nice, clean, well cared for vehicle, not a great deal of dirt at all. But we continue to monitor nonetheless. So just make sure those shuts are dry. Might as well do these legs. This is the end for this towel. Just do the top lip, these arms in there. Quick buzz over this. And again, this is just all little small things that help you make your life easier for residual cleans. And I think just gonna, this cloth is dead now. That's the end. I've got some trim. I'm gonna just buzz through a multitude of different products. Let me just go grab. Right, so as discussed, we're gonna go for a myriad of different products today, and just gonna buzz around, getting the job done. And we'll discuss little key elements at various points throughout the video. And what I thought I'd do is we'll discuss things where they haven't perhaps warranted their own video, or I use them and don't video them. Anyway, hair removal tool, wonderful. I had this out recently, it was in the car, I used it on my mum's vehicle because it was plastered in dog hairs, and you know how it is, you can spend hours and hours and hours trying to excavate dog hairs, or get this, and this meant that I had to go back a second day to finish off my mum's vehicle, but this made, I would have been an hour, forever, tickling and tickling and tickling and tickling, but instead 15 minutes. Also, something that has never ever had its own review on the channel for obvious reasons. If you ever use this sort of thing, or you're regularly in the garage, they're not cheap, probably 10, 11, 12, 13 quid, but I think my work get them, not the garage ones, just normal antiseptic ones, but these are puckaroony, man, they're massive. Obviously, I'm pretty stingy and I'm pretty frugal where and when I use them, but if, for example, someone steps into the Fab with dirty shoes on my lovely blue mats, then I will immediately employ the usage of that. Done. Anyway, so for the plastics, Garage Therapy 2 trim. Reason I'm discussing this today, had this in stock, have only just mixed it up. I've used that much, approximately 1 to 4 in a Chemical Guys secondary sprayer. And the reason I wanted to mention this, the reason I bought it and the reason I want to mention it and discuss it is because when I reviewed it before, I was, you know, sort of nonplussed. It's very, very much like Pearl, not a great deal different to Pearl, but what I did discover was when I applied it to Foz, the notorious scuttle area, it lasted ages. So whilst the delivery was similar to Pearl, delivery, initial appearance, etc, etc. The durability, wonderful. Right, so let us work into a half. Hopefully you're close enough. Let's get the sprayer going. On a spray. There we go. And let us start here. Obviously, we'll start this way, work backwards, try and create a break as per standard practice. I don't think I've ever done these rubbers, so picking up some dirt immediately, which is good. No, not on the paint. Right, the brake's going to have to be by that line. Right, now we can start thrashing about a bit. And again, one of the other reasons I was thinking about doing this is because I rarely do plastics. If ever. I did do that test, I'll admit, where we infinity waxed the Fab. Oh, it's so nice. It's nice because it's a bit like the sort of effect that tyre serum has. You know, it's not in your face. I'm just going to load this up. Right, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look and then we'll pull back and get this done throughout to give her a nice clean aperture. So hopefully the camera's picking that up. Yeah, well, what I'm seeing in the viewfinder, it's clear. Dull. Shiny. Nice. But look, this is the bit that, as well, I know this really stands out, but this just looks really natural. Bit dull. Clean and natural. Nice, nice. Right, let's buzz around that. I'm going to pause while I put this on the tripod. Here we are. Right, just going to buzz around this. So theoretically, this should mean prime pad, copiously, and then I'm just going to work this in. Just seeing how far back the plastic goes. Let's do things right, hey? Let's do things right. Whoop. Here we are. It's like I need to hoover on there. How far back does that go? Oh yeah. Oh, the last thing I ever want to do is to smudge any kind of cleaner into the headlining. Where's that little thing? That will do for now. There we go. And we will soon have happy shed. And I think I'll do tyres and I want to do tyres and more plastics on little shed, and then we'll close to a nice appearance for her. So when I've been watching some of my recent videos, what I've realised is, if you notice the ones where I'm out of breath, I'm always rushing. So with both vehicles being clean at present, this is a nice opportunity to do that just spend some good quality time with the vehicle, with the camera, getting the job done, getting into those finer details that I might not normally be spending time on, and get everything looking nice. So I'm going to leave this out so we can discuss at the end, or at least review the products we've used. I'm going to keep these together so I know what's what. If you're wondering why I don't mark up the packets or the bottles, dispensers, that is because I go through so many different products that I'm testing for the channel. I feel that if I've written on them, they will become landlocked with that particular product on. So I don't want to use some kind of permanent marker. Probably don't need that anymore. Just making the final aspect look remotely nice. Can hoover that. Underneath there, the reason there's that cloth underneath there, I keep the genuine Fabia VRs mats, and they're all folded up in the plastic bag that the blue ones that the car has fitted came in. So I keep the old ones there. Actually, I'm going to restore them. I'll do that in the summer. They're pretty good, but I want them to be perfect. Anyway, so that's boot, plastics, everything nice. Right, I'm going to do the waterless on Foz whilst we've got cloths and product to hand. So let's get that squared away. Right, we'll just get the inners of the shuts on this vehicle clean. Just grabbing a decent microfiber, obviously freshly laundered, obviously clean. So we'll prime the pad, prime the panel, and obviously being Foz, regular observation of the pad to check for any dust particles, dirt particles, etc, etc. Oh, I could see water in the skirts, man. Just goes to show. Now, she had a thorough clean and a thorough dry, but that just goes to show why they tend to rot behind the skirts. Maybe I should take her down the road. Yeah, that's an idea, isn't it? Anyway, so that is nice. Easy peasy, lemon squeezing. No paint visible up there. I will be doing the plastics. Dry portion of the towel. As you can see, there is adequate amounts of moisture in the air. The outer doors absolutely filthy, so I will be doing those with last knockings, should we say. That'll be last knockings. Trying to make myself as small as possible. It's not working. I know. Actually, I thought I was going to knock the camera in. Silly me. Shut the door. Yes, I thought, you know, it's going to be a little bit of a candid one. Nice, long player. Hopefully get this up for New Year's. And it'll be something pleasant to sit at and just zone out to. And I know I moaned about the lack of dirt, but everything has worked out for the best, because now I have got a day where I can spend as many hours as I wish cleaning. So, prime the panel, pad's already damp. You can see that this vehicle could benefit from the treat that I gave the Fabia, which was Surfex HD on all the shuts. Yeah, it's lovely, done a great job. And I'm not going to be wetting my pants about any of that level of dirt. But I know what I am doing. Going to adjust the camera for one, and for two, going to treat some of those rubbers. Again, while product is in hand, why not? And let us start to treat up here. For starters, looks like somewhere I may have neglected in the past. Let's get some moisturisation into those. Just try and work it into that crease. So as I say, we're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. What I'm going to use for interior plastics is going to be Halfords Advanced Interior QD. Purely because I've mentioned it on the channel before, just, you know, an honorary shout out. But honestly, it is great. Really cheap, smells great, nice neutral finish. Cannot go wrong. So, just working this all in. There we are. A little swipe round there. Lovely. That'll do. I'm going to go and find the Halfords Advanced Interior QD, and we'll start digging into that, which will be pleasant. And then I think we'll coat some tyres, or whatever my mind leads me to next. Let's have a quick buzz over the plastics now, I think. Right, let's start getting into any plastics. So we're not expecting a massive change, we're not expecting massive amounts of gloss, but what you do get with a Halfords Advanced Quick Detailer leaves a clean satin finish to dashboards, plastic vinyl and wooden trims. Enhances colour, protects from UV aging and leaves an anti-static finish. Also suitable for plastics and rubbers in the engine bay. One of the key things is, for me, it smells great. So I'd been keeping this in the Fabia with a cleaning brush. So I could have a little dust with a cleaning brush. And then if I needed a little wipe, I had this to hand, do a couple of squirts, and the interior smelled lovely. And the plastics looked about the same as usual. That's one thing with the FOS. The plastics are a touch agricultural, shall we say, but it's not about the trim, it's about what's under the hood, as we all know. Why have I got a little bit of loose plastic there? There. So despite the agricultural nature of the trim, it is nice and clean nonetheless. Right, let's get another card done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So a lot of times, one of the other reasons I thought about doing this, a lot of times when I finish a YouTube video, whatever I've got planned, I will go indoors like an excited child on Christmas Day and then start the import process, editing process, export process, and then tags, description, etc., etc. So I sometimes skip these bits. So that final little bit of detail where I could really make the vehicle pop or get it all finished to perfection, I skip. So like when I spent that ages and ages and ages doing fuzzo coat, and poor boys, I didn't do this. Right, let's see if we can get camera and me a bit more in there. Hopefully that's okay. I'm never going to fit in there, am I? Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Yeah, so I regularly skip these final stages. Oh, cool, that sunshine's killing me. Right, I can't see anyway. I wouldn't know if it's doing a good job or not. Trying to duck under the way of the sun. Right, so the rest is going to be pad only, so I don't contaminate the dash. I did see a fair amount of dust up there, so hopefully this is going to take care of that. Apologies if this part's off cam, but I'm just doing it while I'm here. And that is that. Lovely. Not on screens, we'll use a little bit of glass cleaner for that. Whoop. Right, so that and that can stay there. Again, so they're identified. Look, let's be totally clear. It's not as good as Nice Star, but for the money, it's a good un. It's a good un. No complaints. Anyway, so Foz inside, relatively fresh. We'll continue to meander around that, but I'm not going to bore you completely rigid with copious amounts of plastic application, but that is okay. So that's all good. While I was looking around, I found a sample kindly provided to the channel, Infinity Wax Spotless. So let's get the exterior glass on all the vehicles done. Now it's starting to dry up, so we'll get that done and then we'll use touchless for the interior. Right, we'll do the rear quarters on Foz, and then we'll try, I think, windscreen on Foz. So I'm going to put a couple of daubs onto a dry applicator. The vehicle is covered in water spots because, as you can see, it is very moist. We'd had a good solid frost. I'd had the car running for 45 minutes at minimum this morning to defrost her. Wow, well, let's go one more coat. I've not read the instructions. I'm not stopping what I'm doing. I looked on my phone very quickly just to see what it does. So we're just going on and buff, and that is it. Well, apart from scratches in the glass, which is normal because they have built-in tints. It's actually, you know, actual tinted glass, not plastic coating, I don't think. That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Nice. So this is where we were. Hopefully you can see all the water spots in there. See? So we did have a decent amount of water spots. I've had the windows up and down this morning because when the vehicles were frozen, I still needed to manoeuvre things around. Reason being, I wanted to get the hoovering dealt with off cam for your viewing pleasure. So putting the windows up and down in a pillarless car on a moist morning does make copious amounts of drip marks. I can see them close up on the inside. Apologies if it isn't visible on the cam. I'll be dealing with them. I wonder if I caught that on the plastic clips for the hot weather strips. I'm just going to make sure that's all distributed. Then I'm going to go and find touchless, and we'll start hustling around with that too. Let's just flip to a dry side. Yeah, it keeps pulling on the little clips for the weather strips. I'll stop doing that. That will annoy me. That will annoy me. Let's just polish that bit. Well, it's what we like. Easy on, easy off. Nice, nice, nice. Be even better when they're pristine mundo on the inside as well. Anyway, just forgot. I'm not supposed to say that. Someone moaned the other day. I said perfect mundo, and that was it. They were unsubscribing. Each to their own, eh? Each to their own. I don't mind. What I think is, you know, if you don't like a channel or some content or the person delivering the content, and I have seen many that I haven't liked, but most people that were brought up relatively well were just taught to, you know, you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Unfortunately, Tinterweb and freedom of speech and the world in general thinks it's okay just to, you know, them keyboard warriors. C'est la vie. Such is life. That's how it is. Right, where should we do next? A little bit of, let's get it on the windscreen. Whilst this is open, and then I'm going to go and get the touchless, and we'll start getting that on. Right, let's get the pad nice and moist and get a thorough distribution going on. Yeah, glass is dirty on the inside, so looking forward to maybe dirty enough to be able to show how good touchless is, traceless. But I'm lying. There's nothing. You know, video in glass really hard. Really hard. Right, let's make sure I'm recording. Already committed one of those sins this morning. Put in a good solid waffle, and I hadn't been recording. Shocker. Shocker. Sometimes this is all you need, you know. Just that chance to crack on with all those little niggly jobs. Something I've been doing, and I wasn't able to do it on a couple of the bolts, but what I've been doing with the FOS, one thing I did make time for, which was thoroughly enjoyable, I was backing off the screws from the little rubber grommets on the boot lid and then soaking them in built hamber rust converter. Probably the deoxy crystals, I think it was. That was a good time. Anyway, what's really annoying is one of them I couldn't get out. Stuck. I'm certainly not going to complain about the ease. Fab won't take long. Fab won't take long. She needs a booster. I've not done Glaco for ages, so we'll get the exterior glass done. Again, not something I regularly do on the channel. Not something I regularly do on the channel. Right, one more daub. Oh, the jacket's annoying. I reckon what I'm going to do today, I will film until the camera goes flat and I run out of mic. I'm just going to raise that up a bit. Lovely. So we're still sort of melting off the early morning. It was frost. Now clearly is moisture, but we're working through that. Just seeing Fab has reminded me, or at least seeing the weather strips. So let's do definitely plastic coat on these dulling and rather sad looking weather strips. I think that's what we'll do next. Fancy that. It's going to have a right old flit about. And what we can do is, I'm going to do cotton wool buds on them. Right. That needs a good buff. But can do that in due course. Let's come round a bit for here. I'm just going to prattle on while I do this bit. Regular viewers of the channel will be not surprised in any way, shape or form. This is how we roll. My apologies, just doing underneath the wiper. Just coating these up really. Sides aren't too bad. So I'll get these coated up. And then I'll buff up in a sec. May as well do wing mirrors too. Here's a delivery. Fabulous.
Number 2?
Yes, just there please mate, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
Anywhere there is fine, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
Cheers mate. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year.
Yes, you too. Right, that's all that. Let's grab that there a minute. And I'm just going to buzz that around with either a dry bit. Aha! The good old-fashioned glass polishing towel. That will do. I think I'd clean that. Actually, I'm not going to contaminate that. I'm going to save that for doing traceless. Just find a dry section and just buff this off. It's really easy to work with, actually. Really easy. No streaks. All good. Much better than I was expecting. Another person looking at me. Why is that idiot talking to himself again? What is he doing? What is wrong? Is he broke? I've seen, well, as I was saying a minute ago, you know, it's a few bits that definitely want plastic coat that I'm going to test, but there's loads of bits that could do with trim. Again, going back to me saying that I regularly skip those finer details. Once I've got my core video shot, that's it. I'm off And sometimes I think to myself, do you know what? Should have just put that last little bit of effort in and got these finer details put to sleep. You know what's going on there. Right, let's put the glass cleaner and the glass pad together. I'm a firm believer of not much rear wiper usage. So don't be shocked when I plaster everything with the product, because I don't use it. So I'm never going to be one of these people who, oh, it will smear the windscreen. Well, I don't care, because I don't use it. I am just going to encapsulate this little sucker with product. Like a detailing hot dog. Get that all massaged in. Remove the towel, wipe off any excess with the waterless cloth, which is here, like so, and then douse the cloth. Actually, I'm going for a finger first. Let's just moisten a finger. This bit done. So annoying. I just touched the glass. Idiot. Moisten the wiper, obviously, because that's how I roll. Like I say, I am not precious about it getting on the glass. I don't use it. So that is full coverage. Just get that on there. Obviously, I can mop up later and just make sure that's A, straight. It's one of my pet hates. This has to be straight. Look, straight 90. They're your typical acceptable formats. Here, exactly that. So I'm just going to get that little bit of residue from there. That will do. I did touch the glass with my finger there, which is annoying. That will do. That will do. Lovely. Right, I'm going to go and get the plastic coat and we'll test some plastic coat on these dull rubbers. I'm going to get the plastic coat and some cotton wool buds and we'll work into that. So I've used this before on the channel. It was absolutely sensational on the little wing mirror masts, and I appreciate that this says it's for plastic, so may not necessarily be suitable for rubber, but I like to try things, so try we will. Well, there's no denying the colour change, just bringing you in. Sorry, here we are. Right, I will crack on with that. in a very slow and meticulous fashion. If you get it on your paint, get it off straight away. Feeling the pressure now. What I want to do is just get a line, a bit like cutting in. There we are. Just want to get a line and then work with it. Ooh, scared. Right, let's get the upper bit done first. Do like a nice task, eh? Right, let's not, no, don't drip. It's dripping. Let's get that spread. This might take a while. Go and put the kettle on. Buckle up. Popcorn. Right. I think I'm going to aim for... Oh, there's a drip. This is one of them products often makes me think, you know, if you could remove the trim you're working on, you'd be laughing. Right, let's just get along there. As you can see, you don't use hardly any at all. As we like to say, a little goes a long way. So I need to get down here to concentrate intently. Oh, whose idea was this? One plus point is there's absolutely no second guessing where you have or haven't been. I'm just going to push on that glass trim just so we've got a straight line, but I'm not going up against the glass. I've got limits. Okay. Let's get fairly close to the paint. There we are. Sorry if I was in the way. Oh, I was feeling the burn. Feeling the burn. Feeling the pressure. Feeling the pressure. Right, let's distribute along here. How far are we on cam? I want to make sure I get that whole door done. Oh, this bit's easier. Obviously, I'm going to stop at this door. And contemplate what I've started. And stand back and look at the glory. Obviously, I'm going to have to put that product in a dispenser, a secondary pot. Because, as you can see, picking up some dirt from the rubber. Right, you're going to have to get splotted, and I will mop up in a mow. Right, let's just get this covered. And it started to drip down the cotton wool bud, which is nice. I think still use that one, the clean bit. Just going to grab a cloth and see if we can just nip that along the paintwork. It's not rocket science, is it? It's not rocket science. Now, with sacrificial cloth, I'm just going to distribute this evenly for a nice appearance. I know this goes totally against the objectives for today. You know, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but it is very tempting just to leave this one only to see how that continues to perform. I don't think it's not liking it as much as I thought, but it might need a couple of coats, and I'm aware that with the continual wiping I'm probably somewhat diminishing its efficiency. Well, you know, it's better than it was by some large margin, but look, you can still see these were coated with plastic coat quite some time ago, ages ago in fact, and they still look wonderful. Right, that has given me a, hang on, let me just pause and get this up. Yeah, it's given me a clear indication. I had thought of trying plastic coat on tyres, but I think no, because brain says, oh, let's just have a look. Let's just have a look. Man decides one thing, man changes mind immediately. I mean, it's on the cloth. I've got the product in my hand. It's the passenger side rear wheel of the Fab. Let's put it on to see what happens, eh? We'll only know if it goes on. Do not fall over. Right. So it can't hurt, can it? It can't hurt. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to look good. Whether it's enormously durable is yet to be seen. Apologies. All of a sudden, my foot said, no, 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 no. You can stop that right this minute. I think I have done too much dog walking, too much car cleaning. Yeah, true story. Right, let's try and get this in the bead. Yeah. Well, for a tyre product, which I know this isn't, but this delivers very similarly to Dark Side. Now, not the thickness of the product, but anyone that's used Dark Side will know, even if you've got a teeny weeny bit on your pad, that will still go a long way to impregnating your tyres with nice colour. Well, annoyingly, let me get you down. I need to QD the wheel fronts. But annoyingly, what? Annoyingly, it's really good. Let's let that cure, and I'll QD the wheel front. We'll have a look at that at the end once it's dried. Right, apologies, the flitting around. I'm going to get traceless. See you in a moment. Right, I'm just going to carry on as if no one was there. So I did the exterior glass on Foz already. Sorry about that. I did exterior glass on Foz already. I hope you can't hear that. It's a neighbour's pulled up, or delivery driver, and their radio is just audible. I don't think YouTube could hold me personally responsible. But you never know. You just never know, do you? So rear glass done. Make sure I don't doink the vehicles. And I'm just going to do this side very, very quickly. Like I say, just going to continue as if I was just getting the job done. So we'll just get the sides done. Oh, nice to get them marks off. Water spots on this side. This cloth is well and truly used. Thanks ever so much for that sample. Didn't realise that it was a cleaner and protection. Apparently 2 months. Silly me. Should have read about it earlier. Right, that's that done. That is on the inside, I think. Yep, sirree. Certainly is. Right. Let's get some interior glass dealt with. It's not going to take long with good old faithful. Let's just do this one, sorry. Good old faithful traceless. So let's pop that somewhere safe. Just going to grab a new cloth. Can you see streaks in there? Yes, you can. So I'm literally going to prime pad, do a push, very gently at the top, obviously, because they are pillarless doors. And with any luck, you can see how little effort is required and how amazing the end results are. And of course, we will do the same on a non-tinted window next. I'm just pushing away the lint. Another classic job I don't do often enough. And I often think this is the mark of a really good clean. If you finish with dropping the windows down just to do the tops. Right, we'll do the same again. Looking through clear glass. Let's see. There you go. Using the sun to its fullest effect. So you can see streaks, you can see marks, you can see what I'm talking about, the tops of the doors. So we will eradicate that in the most efficient process I know of. 3 squirts on one side. Thoroughly douse the surface. A little bit of extra pressure on the upper lip where I know, as stated, I haven't cleaned for ages. Get into the nooks and crannies as per standard process. Do a flip to a dry side, I can't see a beam. It's like, to me, it looks like I'm recording nothing. And let's just get that to a nice polish. This is will immediately identify if it's on both sides or just one. No doubt it will, because you know what it's like when you're cleaning glass, sometimes you think, oh yeah, I've got one side really clean. And then you realise that it's the other side. There we go. Trying to eradicate as many marks as possible. Where's that little cloth for the win? The cotton wool bud. That would live to see another day. I need to get near the camera. There we are. Really identifies the scratches in my glass. Wow. Right, let's use that sun glare to my advantage. So, looking in the viewfinder, I think we're winning. I think we're winning. So that is good. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Right, I'm going to get the glass done before I lose the plot and go on to another little mini subject, minus finishing everything. But, oh yeah, look, it's eating it. It's eating it. And it ate that. Well, we tried. That is the main thing. We tried. Right, I'm going to get all the interior glass done. And while I'm doing that, I'll have a think about what we can look at next. I was thinking about this. The good thing about a task like this, or this format, is that there's no defined start and stop point. I'm gonna get some of these water spots because they're beginning to irritate me. Just with Chemical Guys waterless. Vehicle was cleaned yesterday. It's not been anywhere. All we've got is water spots, and I will do the roof as and when that dries a little bit more, but for the time being it's going to get rid of some water spots and some additional moisture. Yeah, as I say, because this is just a totally different format than usual, just cracking on with tasks. There is no specific start and stop point. I just keep going till I run out of battery for the camera, or battery for the mic, or indeed get called in for tea or food. So what have I done? I've done all the glass in and out on Fos and Fab, so that's moving on nicely. Had some water spots inside the scoop that I was keen to get. I've ordered up some more Motoplast. So good. I'm about ready to give that another go over. And I think once we've got FOS suitably cleaned down of water spots, I'm going to use some Halfords Advanced ceramic QD. Let's use the non-used super plush side. You wonder why I'm pressing hard on a few bits. It's just to get rid of a few little bits of wax that I missed last time. So obviously I will get round the entire vehicle. Halfords Advanced ceramic QD. I'm going to use this cloth to continue with some waterless. Right, we have got Garage Therapy Pearl Weave towel and a little bit of Halfords Advanced ceramic quick detailer spray. Again, something that I've used before a tiny bit. I think I made a short maybe in the summer, but this is really good. Suitable for use on paintwork, plastics, glass, vinyl and metals. Leaves a protective hydrophobic layer to help resist dirt and weather. Ideal for use as a top coat or top up for ceramic coatings. Let us see. So we'll get a mist on the vehicle and get the cloth folded to 4 and then distribute. When I used it before, oh, it was so nice. Easy on, easy off. All the things you want. And the fact that it goes on plastics, even better. I've got to jaff around, moving around the washer jets or anything. So we'll just distribute that around, flip pad, and then buff. Smells good, does good. No complaints whatsoever. I'd happily take just a waterless and ceramic QD to a car show, or leave them in the boot of the car for impromptu buffs. Just work that in, make sure it's distributed. Lovely, 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 lovely. Right, let's get all the vehicles thoroughly waterless where applicable. Just going to buzz round, excuse the banging. Just going to buzz round, and with whatever's left, I'm going to do the roofs. When I say whatever's left, what I mean is I'm not putting the cloth up there yet. It's all still too wet. So I'm just going to get rid of any grizzle on this side of the Fab. Again, Fab was washed yesterday. No start and stop point. Exciting, eh? Water spots. No start and stop point. What a time to be alive. So I'm going to do the same on FOS. And then get the roofs dry, both vehicles. Like I say, this isn't certainly going to be a full vehicle wipe down. I'm using it as a somewhat protective QD, should we say. A little bit of water dispersal, water spot removal, and that is it. Not touching the spoiler yet because that is soaked. Just to get the boot upper done. Nice, nice. And then work around phosphorus. I'm happy with the position of the Fab. Last clean side, I think. I've already done that. I did that earlier. So we'll just wipe that down. Nothing too major. Just find a clean section for that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Where's that wet? Just mop that up gently. That will do. That's as far as that cloth goes. Right, let's do some tyres, shall we? Let's get into some tyres. Could do with a seat. That's not going to happen. Right, see you in a moment. Right, we're going to do ceramic QD on the wheels. And then we'll do garage therapy tyre serum, I think. So this is going to be a light mop on top, just to work off any moisture, remove water spots from yesterday's clean, and also apply a decent level of protection, and then get the main event on top. Nice. Just 2 more spritzes for the entire face, just to make sure we've got some adhesion. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And flip to buff. Sorted. I'm going to use the cloth I used with Infinity Wax. The plastic coat. So we'll use the same cloth. Just saves me pausing the video. And meandering around aimlessly, fetching the tyre applicator. I know the big one's in the FOS, but that one's not really suitable for Fab. Too big, too fiddly, too annoying. Right, let's push that in the bead. Get you in the bead there, and then have a push. I think I'm going to kill this pad, and being at a different aspect ratio, I have spotted a dot of dirt. When I say a different aspect ratio, what I mean is a different angle. That's not dirt, that is sorted. Right, I'm going to get them all done. Just pop down for a quick nosy nose at that. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, let's hustle round, get them done. And I'm going to get any final drips and drops done on, I had used the zoom, get any final drips and drops done on both vehicles, so it's like that, new cloth to get rid of some lint, etc, etc. Maybe a little bit more ceramic QD activity on Fab. I think that'd be nice. We'll work through that together, and then we'll start to wrap this one up. I'm going to get tyre serum on all the vehicles and all the wheel fronts cleaned, QD'd, ceramic QD'd. We'll do a little bit more. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Back in a sec. Off cam, I will go and get my tyre applicator. Meanwhile, let us do. Aha, that was the one for the. We're not using that. That was the applicator for the tyre shine. Sorry, tyre QD. So nice and fresh. Ah, lovely, 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 lovely. Bonnet needs paint, eh? Bonnet needs paint. Lacquer peel and stone chips. Paint and a badge. That feels nice. As soon as that's cured, it feels really nice. No complaints at all. A little light buff with the old grill ski. Lovely. Happy little shed. All good. Right, I'm going to get the wheels and tyres done. QD any little drips. QD the wheel fronts. And I think that is close to where we're going. Let's just keep the cam rolling, eh? You can tell me in the comments. You either love it or hate it. You're like, I've had enough of this. I've got better ways to spend my time. There's a mark. Nothing a little bit of polish wouldn't deal with. Right. Just a basic coating for them. Just so that she resists getting dirty for longer. There's another mark. Oh well, right, I'm doing this one. Won't take a mo. If you're wondering, I've been on annual leave all over Christmas. So, with my current enthusiasm to grow the channel, so I was just seeing if I could find the tyre applicator pad. I'm sure that will show itself. Oh, I know. Yeah, so with my current enthusiasm to grow the channel, that's why you are seeing an increased level of activity. Right, we can buff in a bit. So, garage therapy, tyre serum on all. Just going to do cam check. The Osmo is looking lovely and shiny from me touching it. Really for Fab I need the little mini applicator, but where that is at the moment, I think it's in the storage box. I've been in and out enough times today. Lovely. So you may want to get a bit closer for this one, I guess, because this is the one where we've had plastic coat. Well, you know, it feels nice. Apologies. Once I move the vehicles, I will, of course, spread tyre product on the areas that I can't see. Oh, that's annoying. We'll get that. Let's use an expired rag for that. There we are. Not going to introduce any marks. Right, one more. Here we are, sorry about that. Let's get this one taken care of. And then I'll rustle round the fuzz as well. Nice, nice, nice. Easy, keeping it all easy. As normal. Right, let's get here. Fozz wheels. Better get a bit more fozz in shot, eh? Seeing as it's the prettiest thing currently available. So this applicator is far more suited to Forester tyre profile. So we'll get them thoroughly coated. I should have distributed that round first. However, I did not. There we go. Just a decent level of product on there. Same on rear, bit more strategic. I won't forget to QD the fronts. Lovely. And I'm going to get round to do the others. And I think we should get some form of protector on the mud flaps. That always looks nice. We'll use Halford's Advanced satin trim and tyre gel for that, I think. I'll take that all back. I don't know what I was thinking. I've got Garage Therapy trim. Right, I'm going to spray away from the camera just to thoroughly douse the inside, like so. Just going to get into them little points, like behind here. Make sure we've got full coverage. A couple of wafts on the tyre won't hurt. Fold myself up. And let's get this off the paint first with the remains of a clean cloth, and then we will distribute accordingly. Apologies, need to get my foot out of the way, don't I? Need to just look at the camera. I will grab Cam in a mo. Just gently agitate that. Just push behind. Not worried about overspill on the inside, because that can just soak in and continue to penetrate. Oh yeah, baby. Now we're talking. I think there's a dirty mark on there. Yeah, I did that last time. That is a little streak of built hamber, Lanagard, grease, rust converter, something like that. Anyway, you get where we're going. I'm going to get them done as well, and get FOS wheels QD'd, and then buzz over the vehicles, make sure they're all looking cool, and then we'll wrap this one up. I'll get the cars parked next to each other, we'll have a little nosy nose, and I will sign out. Right, apologies re the clatter. That is all they're getting. Wheels and tyres, nice. Glass, nearly invisible. Paint, fine. Typical black. Washed yesterday, not ideal today. Wheels, Minteruni, happy days. A little bit of ceramic QD on the pipe, obviously. Garage therapy trim on there. Can't remember what one we done on here. It's been a long morning. GT trim, I think. Fabia paint, looking great. She had ceramic all over. Wheels, wonderful. Wheels, wonderful. And oh, my stuff's over here. Interior on both, wonderful. Glass, wonderful. Exterior protection, glass, wonderful. Interior, nice and clean, thanks to Traceless. I am almost out of battery. I appreciate that was a total strange one, completely and utterly different to usual. Actually, maybe I should not stand near the Fabia. Let's turn that little clattery monkey off, eh? Ah, FOS sound, far more tolerable. Right, let's just check Cam. Smashing. Oh, get we here. Let's be here for once, eh? That'll be nice. Anyway, so I'm going to put this up on New Year's Day. It's currently New Year's Eve. I will wish you all a Happy New Year nonetheless. It's New Year's Eve today. This is the last video I'm putting together. This will be up New Year's Day. Thank you for tuning in as always. I hope you enjoyed that one as always. Something completely and utterly different, a break from the norm, digging into some of the finer details, shuts, rubbers, plastics, tyres, wheel fronts, interior QD, etc, etc, glass, interior, exterior protection, all good, all good. Anyway, what's the time? 12:22, winner. Hope you enjoyed that one as always. Thank you for tuning in as always. Thanks ever so much for all your support in 2025. It has been hugely appreciated. Honestly, wholeheartedly, cannot thank you all enough. I really, really appreciate every single one of my subscribers, commenters, likers, sharers, etc, etc. All massively appreciated. Here's to a bumper 2026. Take very good care of yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.